galactic family of light, soul tribe, Starseeds. Welcome back to my channel, IndigoAngel. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and if you're returning, don't forget to hit the notifications bell so that way you can stay connected to my messages today. So just a quick announcement. I am going to start keeping my Starseed energy updates and all of my informational activations and messages and Starseed videos. I'm going to keep this primarily on my YouTube channel, and all of my artistic videos I am going to just start primarily uploading to Vimeo. So if you would like to stay connected, I know some of you have reached out to me and are just like, I love when you make these videos. That will now be on Vimeo. So all you have to do is just follow me on Vimeo and you will still receive those videos when I post them. I haven't been making as much of them as often because there is so much more time and thought that goes into that process. But I would like to be, doing that occasionally. It seems that these collective messages as far as the grid networks, as far as cosmic energy, radial light intelligences, photonic energy, all of that stuff that is equated to ascension and the acceleration of the 12 to 48 strand DNA matrices and everything that goes into quantum cognition, galactic consciousness, all of that seems to kind of be taking the forefront right now, as I am doing so much on my bioregenesis, which is my Patreon. So if you are interested in specific techniques for ascension that are targeted to the development of the higher mind, I suggest you check out my Patreon, as I have about 12 techniques posted on there now. So quite a decent library that is beginning to grow. I suggest that you go check out my Patreon. You will not regret having access to that information, as it will really assist you in the evolution of consciousness if you choose to dedicate yourself in that way. But today the message is I have a Starseed energy update as we are going through some major planetary celestial shifts. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, this is the mapping system that I have been using lately. This helps me wrap my mind around the visions that I receive, from the celestial bodies. A lot of my electronic data streaming, I do feel comes straight from my celestial template, which is fully activated as far as multiple celestial origins. You'll notice if you are a starseed going through celestial ascension, which means you are waking up to remember your celestial origins, it is a process of bringing on an entire celestial template that you will soon come to realize through multidimensionality, through the multidimensional spectrum of your personal identities, as you start to integrate higher identities from the Hova bodies. Okay, the Hova bodies are quantum, essentially like a quantum diagram and breakdown of energetic structures, and within each of those quantum structures is more aspects of your higher dimensional consciousness, more aspects of your radial template that comes online that you attune to, integrate, absorb, reflect, and transmit. Okay, it's many processes of going within, going quantum, which is just many processes of expanding and contracting within your own energetic system, within your own energetic structure. Breathing could be considered this act as well. Your heart beating, contracting and expanding, opening, closing, on and off, blinking like a scalar wave, flashing light source within a morphogenetic template. Okay, so that's all that life really seems to kind of be, is an on and off, a complete dualistic polarization of perception for us to then, process that into a wholeness, into a whole picture, coming into wholeness again. As you integrate more of that celestial template, which is those identities within the Hova bodies. It's the identities within the radial light source of origin that we're constantly just transmitting through, traveling through, and it's a constant state of activation, a constant state of transition, a constant state of integration of that identity awareness. That's essentially what celestial ascension is identity awareness through the radial source light of origin. Okay, so I know when I talk, I can sound really, really confusing. It's because I think that in some aspects I've disconnected from the ability to be able to speak in simpler terms, because I spend my time in the books. I spend my time in the textbooks. I spend my time integrating from a vast library of knowledge and then just amplifying that through my meditations, through my downtime, and then bring that into my awareness. So it's just essentially, as you attune more to your higher light intelligence, you start to speak in higher light intelligence encoding. Okay, so it is a form of light language. It is an activation in itself when you actually listen to this information being spoken this way. This is actually attuning to, through string theory, through electronic data streaming, through tethering, through a lot of different quantum abilities, essentially, that you expand new chambers, new neural pathways, new platforms of consciousness actually present for you to live on, in, and through, and experience different realms and experiences of existences that basically bring forth this ability to live in these more higher intellectual realms. Okay, so it's not a higher or lower, it's not a comparison. That would be an ego trap, that would be an ego game, that would be an ego identity. But ego identity simply is that awareness of that on and off. It is simply an awareness of the light and dark. It's an awareness of both realms. Ego identity is within all realms and perceptions of dimensions of physical matter, of consciousness, period. That is not something that you ever actually transcend, because it is an aspect of humanism, it is an aspect of matter. Until you have transcended out of the physical body, then that is when you transcend the ego identity. But there is confusion in that, because even in the crossover realms, even through mediumship, when you are contacted by past loved ones and things of this nature, there is still identity that is attached to that energetic form, stating and showing and proving that ego identity might even be aspects of the afterlife. Okay, so much harshness comes down on the ego identity and blah, 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 blah. But like, it is a part of creation, and it is a part of this process of experiencing life. And that is something that higher intelligences, guardian consciousness, guardian alliance wants me to state, is that there is no shame in that game. What is shame is identifying it and not having the ability to still live in a nature that is of compassion, that is of your higher identity. Okay, so the real goal, the real trick is to identify that awareness and then transcend that, so you can come into that state of living from a place of wholeness, love, compassion, kindness, fifth dimensional qualities. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I get going off onto a rant, but essentially back to the energy update. Okay, so I've been putting out a lot of messages lately, really trying to illuminate the awareness of the body of Hydra, because as grid workers, as starseeds, as committed higher consciousness beings, what we do is we notate every planetary shift, world event, mass drama, natural disaster, etc. Whatever, we need to do as grid keepers, as gatekeepers, is notate these events' symbology, their timing, their fruition in accordance to the celestial bodies that are in activation right now. Okay, so if you look at my map, those of you who are new to my channel, thank you so much for being here. This is my map of the starry heavens, comprehending the whole placement of the celestial bodies in accordance to the equatorial plane and in accordance to the polar circles on a gridding system that coincides to the gridding system of the planet. And then this is my planetary grid map up here. Okay, so on this equatorial plane, we have the dates. So we are actually aligning about right here. This would be August 22nd right here. Okay, so you can see that we are within that body of Hydra. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Hydra would be in full illumination as it does ride the southern belly of the southern hemisphere of the equatorial plane. And we ride this all the way from mid-July all the way to mid-October. So planetarily, you know, it's not the only constellation that's activating, but it is a major one that has a huge deliverance and immensity, and as far as the amount of fruition and consciousness and subconscious awareness, redirection, reflection, transmission, manifestation that is being brought up from this radial template. Each star system is a radial template, okay? And it becomes a profound guiding force on the planet, especially right now. So I think a lot of that is really being made crystal clear as we have all of these fires that are happening in Brazil. Okay. So here are the fires. I'm going to point them out where they're at actually location-wise. So I'm going to put my Triskelion here. And these Triskelions are complimentary Triskelions from my dear friend Owen Glendower, StarseedZodiac.com. Check him out. He does sell these. I think he sells them 4 for $20. It's a pretty good deal. They are copper wire, hand bent, with all of his love and compassion that he puts into these. And I use these for moments like this where we are sending grid work, healing, love, and intention to these specific locations that are under distress right now. So as far as the fires, I do believe that they are pretty much through the body of South America. So the Amazon rainforest, all through this entire area here, right across. It might be a little higher, it might be a little lower, but it's all relatively within that area of Brazil. Okay, I just put a video out, Arcturian grid activation, Lake Titicaca, Peru. Please go check out that video as I talked in depth more about those serpent temples in Brazil. But there's just so much that is aligning right now that, I mean, I'm really invested. I'm really invested in this because, you know, the fires have broke out in Brazil, Lake Titicaca, Peru, Machu Picchu, Brazil. This is the sacral chakra of the planet. These are where the sacred serpent temples are here that are guides and protectors of the planet. And I received the most intense vision this morning as I was coming through my lucid dreams. So I usually stay very conscious in my lucid dreams. I always seem to have say in the direction of the conscious lucid dream. But this morning I was coming out of my lucid dream, and in my dream I was with my mother and we were given a snake. And we just received the snake, and I could tell that the snake was hungry. So I was looking for food. I was looking for a mouse. But before I could even find anything to give the snake, it literally died of starvation right in front of me. And it was just a very helpless feeling that I couldn't save the snake from dying from starvation. And then I wake up to all of this information about the fires in Brazil and how, you know, we're very connected through the serpent lineage, the serpent grail. All of this is very connected through South America, Brazil, through the Incan and Mayan bloodlines, soul genetics. The serpents are the guides and protectors of the planet according to channeled straight from the Incan grail line, straight from the Mayan grail line. This is Lemurian, Pleiadian, Arcturian, Antares soul genetics. They're an immense amount of radial templates, personal manifestation templates on the planet. Many lines, many genetic lines are activating within that grail. So there is an extension. It's almost like a tree branch that's kind of just like a neuro pathway that's being activated from this gate site that is branching out planetarily to all of the grail lines. Everybody who's attuned to that energy, everybody's attuned through that grail, is activating and having reaction within the body to these fires. Okay, because it's all connected through these planetary ley lines. Anytime anything happens one place, these ley lines, these grid lines through all these axial toni lines, all of these vortex systems, these parallel lines, primary vortices, inner earth Q sites, it sends distress signals like a tree would underground through this network system to these other areas and sacred locations. So many people are feeling it in the UK as well. So Hydra has a lot to do with this. The body of Hydra, through Hydra, if anybody understands that mythology of Hydra, it is, she brings fire and she brings water. The body of Hydra is the eternal grail of the chalice and the flame. The grail is both. And Hydra brings the fire and the rain simultaneously. So all of these radial light sources are amplifiers to this wisdom. All of the grail lines are amplifiers to this wisdom. So as one awakens that celestial template of Hydra within themselves, this information is electronically data streamed in through the DNA, through the electric networking grid system of the body. And when I talk about these radial templates, I'm speaking of entire complex energetic networking systems transferring data at the speed of thought through the multidimensional houses and platforms of inner God worlds. Okay, so this is coming through the holographic bone structures of the body, the cathara points, the temples, the articulation joints, everything very quantum down to the energetic structures of prematter and antimatter. So we have new celestial templates that are activating. Okay, so it's no longer Lyra, Sirian, Pleiadian, Arcturian, Orion, if I said that, Andromedan activations. These are full celestial template illuminations, okay, because these radial body transduction manifestation sequences are firing off. Everybody who has entered into the Ascension Wave 2013 and on is hyper tuned to these planetary Merkaba fields, planetary shields, axiom lines, Hova body vortices, meridian lines, radial bodies. These are rhythmic pulses of conscious primal life force currents that enter the species and the personal cathara grid core template as a primal unit of a partiki, okay, within the cathara grid template. But essentially, this is what these 15 manifestation fields look like. This is what these holographic radial templates contain. And when I say it's not just Lyran, Sirian, Pleiadian, Orion templates that are activating anymore, yeah, those 6 represent one of these. Okay, we have entire templates coming online. These are all of the unknown star systems. These are 144, well, this would be a 48 genetic inner Eka God world, sets of 15 within 15, identities, entities, activating and illuminating and coming to consciousness fruition within those holographic templates and pulling more identity from those Hova bodies within these more structuralized, more quantum rotating holographic systems within the body, okay? It's no longer just one of these. Many of you are coming online to activate one of these, and that's where some of you are as far as your ascension right now, and that's perfectly okay. But the process of celestial ascension will be bringing more of these God worlds online, okay, until you are jumping into inner Eka quantum within the bones of the holographic template. And this is what I have been trying to teach, but it is so difficult to be able to explain this in a way that people can really understand. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these inner God world templates, essentially. So what happens when these entire templates activate, which is what's happening right now through this new tone, this new Mayan tone, is the polarization of that energy within these templates. These are the templates that become polarized, okay? And the polarization then plays out planetarily, is these templates are reorganizing the energy. They're reconfiguring the DNA encoding and reconfiguring the probable timelines. You can already begin to see this polarization in the planet as you have the Northeast America going through severe storms and flooding and rain. And then you have South America going through the polarization. You have South America and we have the rainforest on fire, okay? So we have two extremes and two oppositions to one another. And these are the manifestations and the symbolisms of the planetary subconscious playing out, which is that representation of Hydra, fire and rain. The northern hemisphere, I'm predicting, is the rain is going to continue to be intense all the way through September, as Hydra is bringing the water in the northern and she's bringing the fire in the south. And the fire in the south is represented by those serpent statues in Brazil, and the serpent statues are literally burned in half. So this is prophecy that is unfolding before us. Many who are connected to these grail lines, to these ley lines, axial tonal lines, all of the are going to be feeling those rhythmic pulses of conscious primal life force currents. So this is going to be triggering a lot emotionally inside. This is going to be transcending fire within you internally. Many of you may be entering into experience of a tunnel of fire, kundalini activations, higher energy disbursement in the body. So you're going to have higher probability of spontaneous kundalini activations right now. A lot is playing out planetarily, dualistically within the body to manifest through that conscious awareness for you to transcend that inside. So it's really important as grid keepers and gatekeepers for us to be doing this grid work right now. I am going to be hosting a live meditation tomorrow at 6 p.m. where we'll be doing a meditation to send healing, send love, send as much intention for this energy to essentially take its natural course in the highest outcome for the planet and for the people who live in this area. Okay, so we're going to do a meditation to heal this area of the planet, and you're welcome to join me, as the number one thing we can do right now is come together with concentrated collective intention and send light intelligence through the grids, through the ley lines, so we can send that realignment to the planet. So tomorrow we are going to be entering into that new tone, the lunar tone, August 23rd, which is going to be higher magnetics. This tone and time cell is considered the lunar moon of challenge, and the energy is going to be polarizing, it's going to be challenging, and it's going to be all within the manifestation templates to re-stabilize these grids. Okay, so there's no fear involved in this. You know, this is the planet restructuring herself. We are going through the re-structuring, the re-encoding within ourselves. We are identifying this, and then we are reacting in accordance and in response to this energy. So we are sending a feedback loop of energy from ourselves to the planet by doing this meditation that I'm hosting tomorrow, August 23rd, the first day of the Mayan lunar tone at 6 p.m. US Mountain Time. Please join me for this. I love you guys so much. Thank you for this energy update. And please check out my Patreon, patreon.com/IndigoAngel for bioregenesis. Message me IndigoAngel222@gmail.com if you would like to book a personal bioregenesis session, or if you would like to get a Starseed origin reading. And namaste. I will see you guys tomorrow, August 23rd at 6 p.m. Have a beautiful day. Send lots of love, lots of compassion to Brazil if you can. Get a map and place some crystals on it if you can. That's one of the best things you can do right now to send that love and healing to this grid location. Namaste, you guys. I will see you soon.